You're listening to the Tony and Josh Show.
Greetings and salutations. This is Tony from the Tony and Josh Show. Starting our pre-show, usually about 15 minutes before showtime. And truth be told, it's usually longer than that because Josh and I are never ready for showtime, 10 p.m. Central Time every Wednesday night. So, doing something a little different tonight. Now, if you weren't here last week, you may not know that we've been having a little, and when I say we, I mean me, having a little bit of a power problem here in the Tony and Josh studio, or at least half of it. The control room, the nerve center, the brain, if you will, of the Tony and Josh Show. Not me, but this room. Because I got too much damn crap being powered. I've got a couple of servers in the closet. I got a TV, big screen TV up on the little mount in the corner of the room, but I wisely have turned that off. And I got this big-ass, bright, hot light that I have to turn on so the green screen behind me will work properly. And not be randomly green screen, because it you have to light it properly for the computer to be able to pick that up. And I spent a little extra money on the show and upgraded the video software to do do full 1080. Well, I was going to say 1920, but that's the other measurement. Do full 1080, and I didn't want to broadcast in 1080 to start with, so we're doing the 1280 by 720. Still technically high def tonight. When I tried it in 1080, I got a computer temp warning because the 8 cores were running almost 5 gigahertz on each core. So dropping it down to 720 was a better idea. So hopefully, now it may not look any better. I don't know. This is the first time I'm trying it. And that means this is the first time I've adjusted the settings for it. So it may not be any better than what it normally is. But we are sending it up to YouTube at 720 high def tonight. So hang in there, listen to some of our old free music, and we'll get going here in a minute. Oh, did want to mention, if you're not over on the Tony and Josh, TonyandJosh.com website, go there. You can watch the show live, and we have a chat room that I think is going to work this week. Tried another free piece of software, and I already see that Oside Chris is in there and has said hello. So that's a good sign. I think the one last week, people were able to send messages, but the chat wasn't updating. So you'd have to literally refresh the screen to see if anybody typed anything. Ain't nobody got time for that, especially us doing the show. So if you have time, come over here and visit us. If you're listening to this recording, either through the audio podcast or watching the recorded YouTube video, consider joining us on Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. Central Time, and join in with the chat. It's kind of like Ustream, you know, where they had the little chat thing where you could go in there and talk about stuff, except this is on our actual, oh my gosh, website. So, give it a try. So, Josh, we are transmitting at 1280 by 720 high def to
sexy
to YouTube. I tried the 1080 and my 8-core 5 gigahertz processors all went to max.
No, yeah, I bet they did, didn't they?
Which I was really surprised. Actually, it wasn't max, but they were running about 80% every core. And the 720, it doesn't mind so much. So I think maybe what we'll do is we'll leave the 1920 by 1080 for short recordings and not for broadcasting to YouTube.
Right, yeah.
So I was kind of anxious to see how you were going to do from the stream. Are you hearing me okay? Because I'm sending a lot of data. I'm sending a lot of data up to YouTube right now.
Oh. Yeah, no, you sound fine. I don't know if you've made your typical Skype adjustments, that you have to do now every show, but otherwise, I mean, you sound fine.
I clicked the button that I now call the Skype lying button. It says save because it doesn't save it. If I have to change it every damn time, it's lying Saka. You know what?
Yeah.
Hey, we got a decent chat room up, I believe. I got another plug-in, another free plug-in, and this one should update by itself about every 3 seconds. So I don't know if you have time to go over there and type something in, and let me see if it updates.
I am over at Tony and Josh right now. I'm going to go ahead and type in a username and going to go ahead and do a quick little test message here. Let's see if that works. There we go.
So I've got the video up of us just for until we start the show, and then I'll switch it back to the logo.
Now, all I'm seeing right now on TonyandJosh.com with the video player is just our logo. And I've got it playing right now.
I haven't seen any update. Let me refresh. I guess you typed in the test 1, 2, 3, 4 twice?
Just once.
Type something else again. Let's see if it's going to update now. Okay, good. I refreshed my screen and it started updating.
Oh, and I see we have video up there now.
So you should see something from me.
Yeah, there we are.
Good. Yeah, Oside Chris jumped in there and said hello. If we had date and time stamps, well, I know it was today, but if we had time stamps, I'd know when he had jumped in there and said he's one of my friends from the old Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Not to be confused with the new Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show, which I believe is still going. I don't think they do video like she used to many moons ago. I think she only does audio podcasts now. So I was warning the audience that we experienced a power failure last week. I think it was. I think we had that from the other podcast. I don't think we had a problem on this show with it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now we're one for one on each.
So I got the big screen TV. Well, I say big screen. It's 32 inch. I don't know if that counts as a big screen anymore. I got the TV up in the corner off, and I've got the laptop. The lid shut down, which I don't think is technically off, but lower power state. And so let's not put out the call-in number tonight. We got chat room, and we've got we'll talk about the Twitter feed at Tony and Josh Show, and we'll just take comments and stuff there till I get this power situation worked out.
Yeah, we'll push the chat real good, and that'll get people going over to the website at least.
I think I'm gonna send a reminder out on. I didn't hit record, so my recorder turned off. I was just gonna look over there to check levels.
Oh, okay.
wonder if I could get an actual piece of gear that would show me levels so I didn't have to rely on the recorder here. It'd be nice to have look over and glance at some more professional looking piece of equipment. I mean, this Roland is a very professional recorder, but you know it's a portable thing. So yeah, I'm hitting 6.
That's good. I don't know where I'm going to be coming in. Hopefully the same level every time, regardless of whether I'm up in that register or if I'm talking down here kind of sarcastically.
So I don't know if you can see that shot. You look like somebody in the first Gemini mission.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm playing around here with two different cameras.
Just wanted to give you an idea before we got on the air.
Yep. Yeah, I tried a different position, and yeah.
What'd you think?
Well, I mean, it's the old camera that I got originally, and of course, this camera that I'm pointing to right now is the high definition one. So that other one, of course, doesn't have the resolution, but also isn't picking up the lighting in the backdrop as well. So. It just bleeds out.
Yeah, you didn't hear me. I said, what did she think?
Funny guy.
Put that on your resume, man.
Yeah, yep.
2014, new position. So what did you think about that drive-through that I posted up? I was really surprised to see that. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, no, we'll have some fun with that.
Don't even have to wear pants anymore. You know, that's probably a great thing for podcasters, because podcasters don't ever wear pants. Hey, I was listening to, I can't remember his name. The other guy that talks about podcasting, Daniel J. Lewis.
Oh, yes.
And he was talking about doing the video stuff like we're doing here. Actually, I was going to send him some information. He's always, he's like us. Send us some info. Send me some questions, comments, or whatever. Tell me what you're doing. And we're kind of the talking head type thing, which is like, in his opinion, level 1 is where you take your audio podcast and put a static image up on YouTube, and you're just playing the audio. It's kind of a cheap way to get your podcast up where people can, I want to say eat it, so they can devour it. And he says if you look at the stats, most of the time you'll see that people will stick around for maybe 3 minutes and then they leave, never to return, because people kind of feel like they were misled. Because I don't think that's his words, that's my words. So he says, now if you're just sitting there as a talking head, that's better than the static image, but not much.
Yeah, at least we got picture-in-picture. Moving background.
And for anybody that's curious, we do this simply because people wanted to watch the live show. And I'm sorry, they wanted to hear the live show, and there is nothing out there that allows you to stream audio only. The only services, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that knows, the only services out there were like Ustream, and then what was that, Dave TV or something like that, and then YouTube came out with the YouTube Live, which we switched from Ustream because of all the commercials and all the delays and all the crap. The only thing that was really good about it was chat room. It was fun, and we had a moderator that could push people around. And it was fun for him. So we switched over to YouTube Live, and I think it's been great. I mean, this is like much better quality than what we had over on Ustream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, do we need to go over anything? I mean, you look like you had the show notes pretty well put together when I started checking into it tonight.
I want to double check. We do have a voicemail from Mickey G for tonight, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
You see it on there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought maybe you knew about it and I didn't put it on there, or you didn't see it.
Well, no, we had one last week, and I, for some reason, thought that it was like the same time, and so I just wanted to make sure we had a fresh one.
Yeah, it's a fresh one. It talks about the colander not being a colander. It's called something else.
And as far as the order of the shows, Now we've got your 2 and then my 2. You wanna leave it like that?
Yeah. What do you think about that? The second one, not the drive-through, but the second one. I thought we could have some fun with that. It's probably something we've talked about before, somewhere, sometime.
Yeah, it vaguely rings a bell that you and I, it might have been off the air that we were talking about that. So, not necessarily familiar territory, but familiar territory.
Well, I guess what I was saying is we can put that one at the end, and then if we get to it, we get to it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, I was wanting to end on a funny note, but it doesn't matter. 6.5 one doesn't know.
Oh, I'm all wound up to talk about that one. So, I would assume it would be the dumb one, right?
Because we can blast through these other ones relatively quickly, especially the dumb criminal one. Yeah.
Which one was the one you want to end on? Well, I guess if it's not that one, it would be that other one.
It would be the other one. Yeah, they're both kind of funny-ish.
Well, that's the way to sell it.
Yeah, I've had some real knee slappers here, and this one, it's entertaining. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, the gynecologist says, "Is that gunpowder I smell?" Still can't get over that. What a way to lose something decent or indecent. Okay, so let's see. I need to get another disclaimer so we can mix it up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we can get started then.
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
Let's get back over here to the chat. Oh, I was going to send out a message on XJ Talk. Okay.
Warning. The opinions, ideas, views, emotions, and temper tantrums expressed or otherwise conveyed on the Tony and Josh show may not and most likely is not suitable for all audiences and therefore should not be heard by anyone unless supervised by an appropriate nanny state. Enjoy!
Welcome to the Tony and Josh Show. Tony and Josh are the functionally illiterates of the podcasting world. Now here they are. Oh yeah, Tony and Josh.
Yes, Tony and Josh. That is also the name of the show, strangely enough. I guess we could say Josh and Tony occasionally, just to mix it up, I think.
It's all the hard work and thought that went to naming the show by our illustrious thought bank and mind pool that we have working on such things. So, yeah, let's not mix it up too much.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to episode 40 of the Tony and Josh Show.
Hey, you guys like silly humor, bad puns, poor timing, tech, science?
And the occasional story that crosses your moral boundaries.
Then you guys need to stick around.
When you hear that booming radio announcer type voice, that means I'm reading something, Josh.
Yes. And you should be paying attention.
Josh is used to a lot more BS before we get to the actual script, so it's my fault. I jumped right in there.
Guys, tonight on the Tony and Josh Show, we've got a bunch of good stuff for you. We're bringing we're bringing some interesting stuff as well. Guys, what do strip clubs and churches have in common? We're going to find out later in the show. Global warming update. I'm definitely on the edge of my seat about that. Hold on while I get my hairspray. And we've got another dumb criminal story, so stick around for that. And, of course, as if drive-thrus in our Starbucks weren't enough, now we have drive-thrus at our funeral homes.
Oh, my goodness. This is like a dream come true. You know, when the wife wants you to go, but you don't want to go? this is just beautiful, Josh. You don't have to get out. You don't have to shake hands, nothing. But we'll talk more about that here in a minute. Hey, let's get over to our first voicemail. It's Nikki G. We've shamed him into calling again every week. Unfortunately, it's SpeakPipe, and I don't think he's a big SpeakPipe fan. But well, let's get over to it, and he can talk for himself.
A colander on your head, that is so ridiculous. Everybody knows it's called a strainer. And if Pastafarian is really a religion, does that make Olive Garden a church or a place of worship? I know I spent a lot of time doing penance at the soup and salad bar. And it's a good call, Josh, on not getting the video of you skydiving. Because who wants to see a grown man wet his pants at altitude? All right, guys, I'll chat you later. You have a good one. Bye.
Well, I can tell you, nobody on the ground looking up wants to see that. There's not a cloud in the sky. Is it raining?
Yeah, it is now. No, I heard a horror story from a buddy of mine. He said something along the lines of 85% of all men who skydive for the first time end up losing bladder control. And like an idiot that I am, I went ahead and believed him. So I packed an extra pair of shorts in a plastic bag as well, just in case I had to make an emergency change once back down on terra firma. But I didn't end up doing it. So nonetheless, it was just an epic time. Loved skydiving. It's my new favorite addiction.
Wow. I just can't imagine that you would actually believe anything a guy would tell you.
Yeah. Especially some of my friends.
Yeah.
I should have known better.
All righty. Well, I think we're seeing some of that latency that we may be getting because we're streaming at a higher bit feed to YouTube tonight. So hang in there with us, folks. We're trying out some new technology tonight, and hopefully it'll work out. You people listening to the audio only podcast will just hear some strange sounding audio from Josh.
Oh, lovely.
Well, did you see the warning on your screen about the bandwidth?
No, actually I didn't. It didn't pop up on my side.
Okay, good. Well, it's lined out. We'll see how it goes. Hey, speaking of seeing how it goes, what about this strip club business, Josh? Strip club and churches?
There's something going on over in Ohio. You guys have all heard of the epic feud between the Hatfields and McCoys, the age-old fight between the two families. Well, move over. The new feud of the ages is between the pastors and the pasties. Or is it maybe a minister and the sinister? Oh, okay, that was bad. I'm sorry. I know. How about the bishops and the boobies then? Ohio City officials. Yes, all we need is bacon in there somewhere. We got a good trifecta.
The three Bs.
Yeah, Ohio City officials are pleading for a pastor and a strip club owner to stop weekly protesting of each other's establishments over an 8-year-long feud. The Coshocton Tribune, easy for me to say, reports the official letter was sent to the New Beginnings Ministries pastor Bill Dunphy and the Foxhole strip club owner Thomas George, and was signed by the city law director, the county prosecutor, and, of course, the sheriff. The battle began after Dunphy and men from the Warsaw, Ohio church began protesting outside the strip club on Friday nights, recording the car number plates of patrons and asking if their wives and mommies knew where they were. The businesses responded in true free market strip club fashion. The strippers retaliated by holding their own demonstration outside Sunday services, wearing bikinis and G-strings and even going completely topless as they displayed signs saying, "He who cast the first stone," amongst displaying other things. And from the pictures that I've seen, there's entirely way too much being displayed. The rival protests are now a weekly event to the despair and I imagine somewhat entertainment of residents in the two towns. The letter issued says the feud is straining local law enforcement and hurting the community, but acknowledges that either party, the holy or the hoary, can legally be stopped from protesting. Each man has made allegations against the other, but authorities haven't prosecuted those cases, nor intend to, in the hopes of saving some of the general fund that would otherwise be spent on legal fees for trips to the champagne room with Cinnamon and Mercedes. Mr. George, owner of the cleverly named strip club, said that he would call off his employees if the church stopped bothering his customers. But Pastor Dunphy said the church protests will continue and asked Mr. Skelton, the county law director, to apologize for suggesting he call an end to the church's, quote, critical mission. Writing back to the legal authorities, he said, I would encourage you all to apologize to all the gentle Christians that you and the Sheriff's Department have trampled on by inhibiting our constitutional rights in the process, attempting to smear our names and reputations in the community we love and value so much. Oh, isn't that so sweet? The pastor said he would call off the protest if he received guarantees that the, quote, lost souls from the club would come to Christianity and no families or marriages would be negatively affected by the foxhole, among other demands. Wait, was that a threat? The latest incident from last Friday had Dunphy and Calvin Zastro, I'm not making this stuff up, of Cowell-Kalin, Michigan, arrested for criminal trespassing at the foxhole. Skelton, in a news release, said his office was dismissing the charges, as plat maps from the 1800s made it unclear as to whether the area where the men were protesting was an unimproved village street or property owned by George. Additionally, Dunphy had filed an assault complaint against George for shoving him repeatedly to push him from the edge of the club's gravel parking lot to the street. Will the right to don one's tatas for dollar bills trump the right to trump any Bible one wishes? Or will to thump any Bible one wishes? Or will the holy prevail over the perverse? All is uncertain except for one thing, folks. Next weekend, I'm going to Ohio.
Well, Josh, don't forget to turn the other cheek while you're there, or suggest that to the folks that are protesting the church. Yeah. So.
Indeed.
Wow, that's amazing. I think
8-year feud.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of free shows. Not bad advertisement either. Come to think of it, but I was thinking that they probably would have a much better effect in protesting the church and actually getting the guys out of the church on Sunday if they get some football players in there to toss the old pigskin around. You know how everybody's in a hurry to get out of church so they can get home and watch football. So, the football is like, 16 hours of fun. How long are those games, Josh? 4 hours, 6 hours, 27 hours? And
like that.
The fun with the girls is like 2 or 3 minutes, and you're over and it's time for football, right?
Those songs do get mighty short in the strip clubs. I mean, not that I would know anything about that.
Well, we won't go there. Well, that's pretty sad, Josh. I'm embarrassed you even brought that story to us.
Yes, you should be.
Hey, I kind of jumped ahead tonight. We are watching for your tweets on Twitter, strangely enough. And if you send your tweets to Tony and Josh Show, we can see them and respond to them here during the show. We also have on the Tony and Josh Show, or actually TonyandJosh.com website, we have our live video and our brand new, first time used, virginal, if you will, chat room. So you can actually chat amongst the other audience members or to us if we are not currently busy reading something or misreading something, as we both have a tendency to do. But remember, guys, we're functional illiterates. I can't even say the word, Josh. We're functional illiterates. So that means if we can read, we're probably faking it.
Yes.
So anyway, I know everybody's sick and tired of hearing about global warming, but I want to drone on and on about it just a little bit more.
Oh, please! I was going to say, speaking of getting all hot and bothered, what's going on in the global climate discussions?
That was a good one. I should have waited for that one. You need to raise your hand up and go, I got one. That's why we need to be in the same studio, Josh. You need to move over here.
Yeah, I know. We've been talking about it.
So anyway, this is a global temperature update. No global warming at all for the last 17 years and 9 months. This by Mark Morano, the Client Depot website. Is it Depot or Depot? Anyway, so this is kind of interesting. According to the RSS satellite data, whose value for April 2014 is just in, I wonder how old this story was, Josh. The global warming trend for the last 17 years and 9 months since August of 1996 is 0. Nada.
Oh?
Yeah, like big goose egg. The 212 months without global warming represents more than half of the 423-month satellite data record, which began in January 1979. I think that was the year Carter died.
And I would check your facts, but I was told there'd be no math.
So no one now in high school has lived through global warming. It felt nice to me. I don't know. So basically, there's some misconceptions about this. Like you see a lot of temperatures being taken by terrestrial measuring devices, thermometers, and when in a wooded area, a more urban area, you don't have as much heat because of the concrete. You don't have the asphalt and the concrete. You have things that make things, trees and transpiration of the water vapor coming off the tree, so it makes it a little cooler. So you see some of this data coming in from I wouldn't say scientists, but from other sources where they say it's a lot hotter, there's a lot more climate change activity. Well, they're using a satellite to measure these temperatures globally, which of course is what we're talking about when we say global warming. And according to this satellite, there has been no temperature change in the last 17 years. And it kind of makes, how George Bush was right about keeping the troops in Iraq? Looks like George Bush was right again about this carbon credit crap thing that Al Gore and a bunch of these liberal bastards have been trying to push forward.
It was a good run while it lasted, I suppose. I'm sure somebody made a dime out there. Tony, I had my terrestrial temperature taken one time, and I still feel violated.
I don't blame you. So the interesting thing that I find is how they keep rebranding this thing. Like they're trying to sell this to the American people, and I guess worldwide. Of course, China's just flipping them off and cranking out more carbon and smoking while they're doing it. But it was global warming. That it was, and then there was a problem with the warming thing. There was the hackers that broke in and got the emails, and these scientists were manipulating data to try to make sure that people believed that we actually had global warming. So they had to rebrand it to try to bring the public in, sell these carbon credit deal things, so Al Gore could, get his happy ending and not be able to afford it, because Lord knows he's got to pay for it. They changed the name to climate change. So that means, okay, now it can go up in temperature or down in temperature because that's a change. So that's
they're covering what do they call that? Hedging your bets or covering the bases. And in any case, bet on red and black. You're going to win anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, but apparently that wasn't good enough, Josh. They had to change it yet again.
Oh, okay, good. No, so now let's see. Let's take a wild ass guess at what it could be. So it can't be global, probably. It can't be. It's got to be something global. So it's got to be like a global weather change.
No, it's those lying rat bastard Republicans.
No. That's what we're calling it now.
No, it's I'm sorry. That was the Freudian slip that they made. It's called climate disruption. So
climate disruption.
I don't know. I think climate change pretty much handles both 50% sides of that thing. Now climate disruption, what is it like? Puts it another 50%, so they're covering 150% of it. I don't know. I think it's a load of horse crap. And I've said it once. I'll say it again. Every time somebody complains about mankind causing global warming, global climate change, climate disruption, whatever the hell you want to call it, the sun chuckles and goes, okay, fellas, if you want to think so, because the sun has a lot more to do with our climate than we will ever have. I think the only thing we could do would be to drop all the nuclear weapons in the atmosphere at one go, and it probably would kind of change the climate for a few months. It'd get a lot colder, and then it would go back to the way it was, but everybody would have their own nightlight.
Boy, that would be one hell of a fireworks show.
That would be cool, wouldn't it? It would be something good to watch from the moon.
And you probably wouldn't see anything else ever again.
And then you start going, gee, how many Nutty Buddy bars did I bring? Because we ain't going to be able to go to the store and get any more.
Yeah, so interesting to see how this is all going to play out with the climate disruption. Yeah, geez. I mean, there's so many different ways you can go with that. It's not even funny. Well, I'm sure that'll be buzzwords we're going to be hearing more for the rest of 2014. Or, well, you never know. It could end up starting to come out next year as we gear up for elections or something else along those lines.
I don't know that would be a good thing to run on. I think that 60 some odd % of the American people do not believe climate change is man-made. So I just kind of get the sneaking. I don't think the Democrats are going to be doing very well anyway, and I don't think anybody wants to poke that bear that. Let's take care of the climate and increase electricity rates. What was it? 100%, 75%, 50%, something ungodly.
I'm gonna get some of those Harbor Freight solar panels and make myself a windmill. I don't know.
Well, you'll have to protect them with your gun because they'll be so in such demand.
That's it. I'm moving to the woods into a treehouse.
Oh, I've seen some tree houses on Tumblr. Boy, there's some nice ones, aren't there? That'd be a lot of fun, especially when the wind was blowing.
Oh yeah,
get seasick.
Swaying back and forth.
Well, that sounds kind of dumb. Moving away from these wonderful places that we live into the trees, but I'm thinking something else is dumb.
Yeah, I've got because you guys have been asking for it so often. I'm going ahead and pulled another file from our criminal files. We all have the right to free speech, but just like with your choice in wardrobe when going to the public swimming pool, a little discretion and common sense will prevent you from yelling fire in a crowded movie theater, or from wearing that teeny-weeny bikini you know when you know your fat pasty ass should be wearing a burqa. Maybe a shopping bag for good measure, too. I mean, come on, you haven't fit in your wife's swimwear since high school. Am I right, guys? No? Is it just me? Okay. In any case, there was a certain Southwest Airlines passenger aboard Flight 3677 from Seattle to Denver who last Thursday tested his First Amendment rights to their extreme and thought it would be amusing to name his hi-fi hotspot Southwest Bomb on Board.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the hotspot name was then later changed to Bomb Location 19E, getting very specific here. And then to something about the stewardess being hot. One passenger, when interviewed, said, "We realized that he was probably just goofing off, and that stewardess was quite attractive. The crew, however, wasn't so sure, so they held a beauty pageant while passengers were forced to disembark the plane and be rescreened before retake off. However, Mr. Wi-Fi was detained and unfortunately missed his flight. So let this be a lesson to you hotspot renamers out there who think you are so clever. You are. But remember, not everyone has a sense of humor."
Man, it's a sad. I remember right after 9/11, people were making jokes primarily because they were being stopped and frisked and cavity searched. And and you know what? Smartasses deal with stuff like that with frustration and boredom by making smartass comments. And there was several people that went off to comedy prison. I was going to say bad comedy prison, but some of the things were pretty damn funny. And that is one of the saddest things that I think has happened from 9/11 is this, and it happened under George Bush. I mean, G.W. Bush, my fave president other than Jimmy Carter. No, I mean the other one, Reagan. Anyway, he's the one that put this stuff in place with the Patriot Act, and it went too far. It kept people safe, and it worked out beautifully. I mean, the whole thing did work out very well. But I don't think – what does this world come into if we can't make smart-ass comments?
Seriously, though. And not just making a smart-ass comment, but being a smart-ass.
Yeah.
You know, a wisecracker, a joker, a practical joker, the class clown. You know, this all falls into that sort of category. And when somebody is, exerting and stretching their creative talents a little bit by exercising some free speech with their own personal Wi-Fi hotspot name, okay, sure, it might have been in bad taste a little bit, but come on. Nobody was hurt, and obviously there was no bomb on board. But, I mean, yeah, it's a bad joke. It's definitely bad humor and in poor taste, but nonetheless. And I don't think there was any charges filed against this guy, and nor should there have been.
No. Well, we've come a long way because he would have been put in jail back in 2001. Oh, yeah. He would have been put in jail.
2002, he would have been locked up probably real quick. Cavity search.
Yeah, continuous from a goat. And but anyway, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, where do you draw the line? I mean, can you not set your Wi-Fi hotspot name to box cutter, or maybe 22 long, or I mean, dirty needle? Oh, how about radiation, or Hershey for the meltdown? You know,
yeah.
I mean, where do you draw the line? It's people getting concerned, and let's go back to the whole you can't yell movie in a crowded firehouse. You don't do that in a movie because people will stampede or can stampede and kill other people in the process. On a plane, what are people going to do? Are they going to panic and rush to the end of the plane? I mean,
open that door at 30,000 feet. We'll see what.
Well, I mean, what do you
evacuate the plane?
What are you protecting people of? I mean, from? And you don't think that when you land the plane, if somebody's got a bomb, they're not going to set it off? I mean,
yeah. I mean, from Seattle to Denver, really. I mean, what's that going to do? I mean, there's nothing there. I mean, what the Space Needle is that going to be the new World Trade Center attack? Spot? No. I mean, come on. No, but going back to what you're saying, there should not be a line drawn because if there were a line drawn, that means that there is some infringement on our First Amendment speech rights. And so that line is what we call tact. And if you've got a little bit of tact, then you're the one who doesn't yell out fire in a crowded movie theater, and you're the one that maybe not yell bomb at halfway through your flight to Denver either. No, that's not what this guy did. Obviously, he just simply renamed his Wi-Fi hotspot, which is for all intents and purposes completely harmless. But
I'm surprised anybody saw it.
Well, here's the problem. Right, because somebody was on their phone, they're trying to look for some free data, and lo and behold, it says bomb here. I'm going to freak the F out, and that's exactly what happened here. You got somebody whose panties are so wadded up tight that the slightest little thing that grates them suddenly turns into a national issue, and that's where we're at.
I don't know about you, Josh, but if I saw that on my telephone, I'd probably start looking around for little camera things to be poked through from above, because the whole SEAL team is in the airplane with Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
and I'd be looking for Halle Berry.
I know.
You remember Executive Decision?
Yes. Yeah. That was actually halfway decent.
It was a good movie.
Still holds up. Yeah, holds up.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I especially liked it when Kurt Russell landed the full-size 747 on the little bitty 3,000, 4,000 foot runway that he had been practicing on.
Yeah.
It was much like my wedding night. Okay, so let's see.
Wow.
Okay. Well, anyway, hey, speaking of getting in a hurry to do something, how'd you like to be able to drive through and visit your Uncle Ted who just died? You don't even have to get out of your car anymore.
Oh boy.
Does that sound promising to you, Josh? As a guy, do you like the way that sounds?
All I've got to know is, can I get fries with that?
Oh, that would be great. Hey, this is a funeral. The funeral home now has a drive-through window. This is from Fox 43 Newsroom. You may find people who are afraid of funeral homes now that they can view their loved ones from the convenience of their car, says Ivan Phillips, owner of Paradise Funeral Chapel. Phillips unveiled the drive-through funeral services on Sunday. I wanted to bring something to Saginaw. That's a town, Josh. That we never had before, he said. In the past, Phillips has allowed disabled family members to watch videos of funerals and take part in visitation services over the internet using cameras. Well, that sounds good. Handicapped people can't get out.
Sure. Yeah.
Richard Simmons sitting next to your bed because you're 700 pounds overweight. That's a good way of visiting somebody that's passed away. And if you're 700 pounds overweight, you'll probably be being viewed very soon yourself.
Indeed.
So anyway, the eye garnered mixed reactions from the community. My wife, when I told her I was going to talk about this on the podcast, she's like, "Oh no, don't talk about that. That's horrible. That's just horrible. I can't believe anybody would do that. It's just horrible." So of course I'm honoring her wishes. We've been getting a lot of. Philip says we've been getting a lot of negative feedback. Most people don't know how it works.
Well, yeah, because so they've got a team of midgets, and they got a couple winches, hand winches, and they crank Nana up to a near vertical position. So as you drive through the drive-through, a little window there, it pops open. You get to see Nana throw a couple flowers, and don't stop. Watch out for the speed bump, and continue on. And the midgets then crank Nana back into a horizontal position. That's how it works, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't put the picture in the notes, but basically they've got this. You've seen these bank windows where they've got the kind of the leaning out big pane of glass. Well, they have the coffin in there, and they've kind of got it at an angle so you can look at it. Now, a lifted vehicle probably give you a better view, but they actually do it on the side. So, because I'm afraid that if they tilted the coffin up, you may get one of those zombie things where the corpse hits the glass and just goes, which would be pretty bad. Anyway, he says he's getting a lot of flack. Philip says he's getting a lot of flack from people upset about the drive-through window. When you enter the drive-through, you'll drop a memorial into the memorial box. Yeah, I've got pictures of pneumatic tubes too. Sign the register book, drive forward, and you'll be able to sit in the privacy of your vehicle for 3 minutes.
People, he's right. I mean, I just did a quick Google search for drive-through funeral service, and the images are nearly comical. He hit it right on the nail on the head with the whole bank window thing. Just the window's a little bit lower, because you got to be able to see Nana from your lowrider. So this, I can't believe this. This cannot be a trend that is taking off. I mean, this is the ultimate exhibition of laziness. No, I will not be getting out of the car to pay my respects. They will be done through 2 panes of glass, my driver's side window and the window of this. And apparently there's several funeral homes that are doing this. I'm seeing multiple pictures, and each one is different. Now, a few of them are the same. But good Lord, this is in bad taste. I thought my airplane story was pretty bad. The pictures alone, people, are just absolutely horrible. But nonetheless, this is a thing. It might be going on in your town. If it is, you guys got to send us a picture of this.
Oh, I'd have to go. I'd have to go even if I didn't know who was there, just to get a selfie. Oh, and don't call that photo bomb anymore. You might go to jail.
Jeez.
Did we run out?
I thought you dropped off there for a second.
Nope, I was just letting you move into your final story.
Well, I've gone 2. We've each gone 2.
Oh, then I did it out of order. I was thinking that I was leaving it. I was thinking about that. Well, it's hard for me to think and talk.
It's all good. I was expecting the music to start playing.
Yeah. Well, let's take a quick pause, and then I'll cue it up, and we can be done. So what we should have done was I should have started with mine.
Right.
Well, guys, that's our show. We hope you're enjoying the new shorter shows, the 30-minute shows instead of the hour shows. And it takes a lot of self-control for Josh and I just to do 30 minutes.
Yeah, really. I mean, we're flying through these stories, and I still managed to shoehorn in a couple of bad jokes in there as well. So, hey, guys, tell us what you think. Head on over to TonyandJosh.com. Use a little SpeakPipe feature right there. If your computer's got a mic or you got one you can plug in, I'll hook it up and go ahead and leave us a message like Nikki G does. Anytime, anytime, any place. As long as you're mobile and you can get to that, we'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, you don't have to be as funny as Nikki G. You don't have to be funny at all. If you want to make a comment or tell us how stupid and wrong we are about the way we feel, it's okay. You can have your opinion. We have our opinion, and we just have a show where we express it. So we more than welcome you to come join us and make your opinion known. Happy to hear either side of the story, whether it agrees with us or not.
And don't forget about our live show broadcasting on YouTube as well as TonyandJosh.com every Wednesday, 10 p.m. Central. You can interact with us live during the show via our Twitter, @TonyandJoshShow, or through our chat at TonyandJosh.com, where we broadcast that live show. And we got a little chat rooms there set up, so go ahead and join in on the fun.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/TonyandJoshShow. I am just so excited, Josh. I'll just mention this. I'm very proud of myself. I think I've gone like 3 days this week without having a nap.
Hey, congratulations, man.
I got up this morning at about 6:30, and I've been up all the way, and I don't feel like I'm dying.
Nice. Very good. Oh, you're joining the world of the rest of us with a
the world of the living. Yes, not the Walking Dead, because by this time I would have been just very, very sleepy. So anyway, yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to that happening every day, and joining you guys every week. So anyway, until next week, this is Tony,
and this is Josh.
You'll have a great week, and hey, if you got some news tips or something for us, some stories you'd like for us to talk about, get the Tony and Josh spin on it. Please feel free to shoot us some information like, I don't know, info@tonyandjosh.com.
That'll work. We'll get the story, we'll give you some credit, and we'll get it on the air.
Thanks, guys. See you later. Okie dokie. Well, sorry about that. I was thinking about what I was going to talk about. I didn't realize that did I force you into that first story? I think I did.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Good. I was going to roll with it instead of train wrecking the whole thing. So.
Well, I guess what we could have done was just done the pause thing and said, after you did yours, you either say, let's take a long pause, and then we could say, hey, if I'm going to finish on the high note. On the funny note, we need to let me do two, or I'm sorry, you do two, and then I'll do the last one, which would have been fine. I mean, we had the long pause because they end anyway.
Honestly, the drive-through funeral one had plenty of funny in it, so that's I was worried it was going to be a little bit macabre or kind of a downer story, but it actually turned out to be pretty funny.
Yeah, when I saw that, it just really struck me as funny, and it's very much a guy thing. The whole idea of not having to get out, not having to shake hands, not have to act sad when you don't really even know the person. In some cases, where you're just you're there out of respect for the. I mean, anytime I go to a funeral, I'm there out of respect for the people that are left alive that are grieving. My personal opinion is the dead person's having the time of their lives. Pardon the pun. Or I should say time of their afterlives, because they're seeing all these wonderful things. That's my personal opinion. And of course, the way I look at it is this: there's either an afterlife or there isn't. If there's an afterlife, then you go, wow, this is great. If there isn't, you go, it's over, it's done.
Right.
You don't care. It's like having a really hard sleep without dreaming. It's just, as my wife would put it, I slept so hard I didn't exist.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So the death part, I guess the only reason why death might be scary is what you hear from some of these fire and brimstone preachers having to do with hell. And, it's just like if you had one of those little battery charge bars that you could actually measure from the hell or heaven side, you'd feel pretty comfortable about where you were going to go, but it's the unknown part where you just don't know what's going to happen. Oh, speaking of where you're going to go, I watched two movies this past weekend. I watched Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which I was not overly enthused about seeing, because the guy that plays the Winter Soldier is anything but badass. He just looks like a malnourished, underweight, guy with long hair, and it just.
What did you think of the first Captain America?
It was okay. Now, I really like the guy who plays Captain America. I can't remember his name. When I saw him as the Flash in the Fantastic Four, hilarious, great actor, great character for that Fantastic Four. The first go at it. I hear they're going to be doing a remake with different people, and the first one, I guess what I was really amazed by was how well they took that guy that is 6'3", 4", or whatever he is, and turned him into a little 100-pound weakling. It was just amazing what we're seeing in the digital world these days. And in the second Captain America movie, they do it again for a very short period of time, but they do it again to tie the stories together.
Cool.
For something in this that happens in this story. But I would say that the Captain America, the Winter Soldier, much, much better, action-packed throughout the entire deal. I don't want to ruin it, ruin this, but I will say that there's a scene in there where a bunch of people are getting on an elevator that Captain America is on, and he's starting to notice some of how the people are acting, and he's suspecting that they're going to try to subdue him or hurt him in some way. And these are friendlies. And he glances over at this one guy that has gotten on to the elevator. They stop at multiple floors, and he looks over there and he can see the sweat coming down the side of this guy's brow.
Oh.
And he kind of looks down and he says, "Before we start, is there anybody that would like to get off?"
Nice. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Now, the one thing I noticed, and you guys can look for this or remember it if you've already seen the movie. In the first Captain America movie, back whenever they were doing this stuff during the World War II times, Captain America used a handgun. I'm pretty sure it was a 45 standard issue for the World War II soldiers. And in this movie, I don't believe the Winter Soldier. I don't believe Captain America touched a gun. And I'm starting to think, and I don't know if this is going to be a trend, but I'm starting to think that bad guys, you're going to know a bad guy from Hollywood standards if they're smoking a cigarette, or a cigar, maybe even a pipe, something tobacco related, or they have a gun. Because Captain America, he actually, well, I'm not going to say, Captain America doesn't touch a gun. It's just his shield and his strength and his speed that he uses during this whole movie. And I'm not a big comic book fan, but I'm pretty sure Captain America used a gun. I think he had that 45 caliber pistol with him.
Well, I mean, he did. At least he did in the first Captain America movie. I can't remember the comic books. I used to have a couple, but I mean, this was a true born to life, Stan Lee movie. At least the first one was.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you can tell that.
He's in all of
he's in this one too. It's pretty funny.
So he's always got a little cameo in there somewhere. But if he's going to put his name on it, I would imagine that it's going to have to be fairly accurate and do the character's name some justice. No pun intended there.
So, I see that somebody, Oside Chris, has mentioned here in the chat room that he tried to record a message, but it didn't work. Oh well. Yeah, it's a great idea. The speak pipe thing is a great idea, but it's a little complex because you have to use your computer, and not everybody has the computer understanding well enough they can be sure that it's going to transmit the audio like it's supposed to. So it's not as easy as just picking up the phone or the cell phone and making a call. But thanks for the attempt, Chris. But anyway, getting back to the movie, I saw that movie, very good. I actually thought about watching it again. Amazon Prime rental, and I think it was a 3-day rental, but that time has passed. But luckily, my youngest daughter bought a copy of it, so if I want to watch it again, I can watch it on the hopefully Blu-ray is what she got, and I may do that. It's a movie worth watching again, just because it's very action packed and moves along. One of the things that really thought was really cool was how when he was chasing somebody, he was running through an office building, and there were a lot of closed doors. And he was running top speed through that office building, through those doors. And the fight scenes where he's kicking somebody or throwing somebody, and they go a long distance.
Yeah.
You buy it. very realistic. You think, yeah, no, there's no. I mean, they got the timing down. They got at least for your brain what you would expect to see physics-wise. That if somebody had 2 or 3 times the strength of a normal man, you see this guy flying, and you watch it yourself and see what you think. But to me, I didn't think about, oh, that didn't look right. This didn't look right. That was wrong. Why, there is a couple of problems in the movie as far as why, I don't know why they had this one thing with the underground bunker. When you see that, you'll see what I mean. But as far as from the physics of the thing goes, very well done. Now, the second movie I watched, and I watched this on the same day, was Heaven is Real with Greg Kinnear. And this was a movie based on a real life event or real afterlife event of a 4-year-old boy that had to have surgery. And during the surgery, he went to heaven. And his father, played by Greg Kinnear, is a preacher. And beautiful, beautiful scenery, like Iowa or something. I didn't pay attention well enough. And they did some really cool things as far as showing you heaven and Jesus and all the things that this young man saw. I would highly recommend it. Make sure that you have something. Your eyes really get a workout, and they may start to sweat. So you might want to bring a towel to just get that sweat out of your eyes so you can enjoy the movie. But very slow compared to watching Captain America. So I wouldn't watch Captain America and then watch this one unless you really want to go from 900 miles an hour down to 5. But one's more dramatic, the other one's more action. But also very good movie. Really enjoyed that. I'm a big Greg Kinnear fan. I watched him back when he was on Talk Soup, and he was very funny, very good. And I don't know why he hasn't done better in movies. You see him a lot in supporting roles, and very, very good in the As Good as It Gets, where he played the gay guy, and actually did the Jack Nicholson impersonation in the movie, which I thought was hilarious. But very enjoyable, very funny.
Very good. I ended up going to the beach this weekend.
Well, you don't look red. You must have put some SPS 500 on.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't actually wear any sunscreen, but yeah, I don't know. And it was. It wasn't like I was out sunbathing or anything. We actually only were out on the beach for a few hours. But
I can't go for 15 minutes. I can't go 15 minutes without getting red as a beet.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, you're very fortunate that way. I think the last time I was out on the beach for a couple of 3 hours, was probably in '84. Josh is holding a picture up to the screen. Well, nobody's hearing this unless you're watching the video, so you can see it. Dig those cool glasses, Josh. We need to wear sunglasses during the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think last time I was out in the sun on the beach for several hours was around 83, 84. And that's back when I had my lifted 83 pickup. I guess it was later than that then. It was probably around that time. And I remember that I was fine while I was on the beach, and it wasn't until I got in the truck to come home that I realized I was a lobster.
Oh.
And I was so hot driving back from Galveston to Baytown. I had the air conditioning on full blast, no shirt on, and I was leaning into it, just trying to make it stop burning so much. And
oh, man.
Yeah, it was a week or so later that a young lady, and I don't know why, punched me in the shoulder for something I said, and the skin
dropped to your
literally
knees.
no, the skin literally folded like a curtain that came off the rod.
Oh, geez.
Nice little square of skin.
Oh,
yeah,
that had smart for a few days.
Yeah. I remember getting burned really bad when I was a kid and just being miserable. So it's a lot better as a young adult because you can deal with the pain a lot better.
Yeah.
But yeah, aloe vera was my best friend.
Bathing in it, I'm sure.
Ice box, where you get the leaf, put it in the ice box, slice it open, cut it back so you don't get any of that really rough leaf on there, and then put it on there. Oh yes, it's just like the dog getting its belly rubbed. You just got to have it.
All right, well, I've got our promo script all ready to go if you're ready to go with that.
Yeah. So we'll say goodnight. Thank you if you joined us during the live show. Thank you if you are watching us on YouTube. And don't forget to go over to tonyandjosh.com and download our podcast. Also, too, we're on iTunes, which we hardly ever talk about. So you can actually subscribe to the show on iTunes. 40 shows in, we had a little bit of a hiatus before we came back, retooled and came back. We'd really like to hear from you if you've taken the time to watch a bit of the show or the whole show. We'd like to know what you think of the show, what we need to do. Maybe replace the two knuckleheads that are doing it. That's fine. Just let us know. We're hoping you're enjoying it. So if you are, tell a friend.
Please. And we'll see you every week and next week, and maybe the week after that.
You never can tell.